welcome to Dead Ends. I'm Emily.
I'm Brenton.
And we have a weird episode for you.
We have 0 Pretty Little Liars episodes for you.
We do.
Yeah, in case...
Or we don't, I guess, technically.
Yeah, we do not have them in hand. If you haven't heard... Boy, that's a rough start. So...
if you live under a rock.
I don't know.
People might not know.
Yeah, so SAG-AFTRA, which is the Screen Actors Guild, is on strike, which started in solidarity with Writers Guild Association, but was not able to renew their contract with the studios, and now the union is striking. They have been for, I think, a couple months now, since they officially declared the strike. And you can go look up on their website. They've got like a whole FAQ and things if you want to like look there. It's like really easy to like navigate and kind of like get the full details. But essentially, they're asking for better wages and for things like AI to be compensated fairly for, and also have more structures and rules around people using their likeness. Which fair enough. And so they updated, actually, literally after the last episode of ours went up, like on that same Tuesday, they updated their guidelines for podcasters. And so if you go by the letter of the law, essentially what they're asking people to do is, if you are part of the guild, like to not go on podcasts and talk about struck work, which would be struck work being anything that the guild participated in with the studios that, so any of the TV shows essentially you're watching that was like done through there. And for like recap podcasts and things, it was like a little vague. So I saw like lots of other podcasters being like, does that count? We're watching anime. Like, but if there's a dub or a movie, does that count? But essentially they just want to keep people from pointing to streamers, which is also a big part of their push, also because they aren't being compensated fairly from streaming residuals, or there is like no streaming residuals. Residuals were usually done through shows being broadcast again on different channels, which streaming completely cuts that out. So they aren't being compensated enough, and that's another thing as part of the guidelines. So essentially they just don't want people pointing that way, and it's really more for guild members, like if you're going by like the letter of the law, which we are not, but solidarity with like a labor movement. And it's super easy for us, kind of a small podcast, to not cover struck work, which is entirely what this podcast is. So we will not be, for the time being, until they come to a resolution and a new contract covering the Pretty Little Liars TV show. So instead, we will navigate over to the thing it is adapted from, Sarah Shepard's Pretty Little Liars series of books. And so this will go, and we'll kind of roll with it, see what happens. Obviously, we hope they come to a fair deal and strike and contract soon. But in the time being, we'll just kind of roll there. So I ordered my book. It's on its way, and then you've got Kindle Unlimited, so that's already ready for you. So then once we've got books ready to go, we'll kind of figure out a better like a good reading structure, like to how to tear through these books, in case people want to follow along. So I'm assuming it'll go pretty fast, so we'll probably read at a pretty good clip. And in terms of future proofing, I don't know, we'll probably just go, and this will be vibes based going forward. We'll finish a book maybe, and then if the strike ends, we'll get back to doing the show. Get your books now if you want to follow along.
Yeah. And I mean, like, because we know some of it, so it'll be interesting to see now that we've read it, because I know people at the time were like, maybe they'll throw in this twist from the books, maybe they'll use this, and like at a certain point I think the television show just lost the plot. And so I'm curious to see if like the books have more of that than I thought. Like, totally. Was this actually lifted from that, or is it just complete, like they were like, we're gonna use these names and that's about it?
Right. Yeah. And then if I remember correctly, not everybody like looks the same as they do, and I think if you remember, it's like there's different, like, even personalities, like, kind of traits. And specifically there's a twist that we've talked about all throughout this podcast episode that I don't think either of us have context for when it comes up, but it was like a main part of the book series twist, right?
What twist?
The twin twist.
Oh, the twin twist. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't have a. Do you have a specific context for when that happens in the books? Because also these ran. She wrote 16 books just in the main series. So,
And
there's
there's
also
like 4 different A's basically.
right. Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah, I think you're right. Because as the Wikipedia breaks it up as is Act 1, and that's books 1 through 4, and then Act 2, books 5 through 8.
I think the twin twist comes out pretty early because it's like the idea that the whole time they thought they were friends with Allison, but they were really friends with Courtney.
Oh.
And then Courtney, I don't know what Courtney was doing, or I guess I know where Courtney was. I don't know what Allison was doing.
Right.
Or if Allison
Or is
might
it
be
even
actually
alive?
dead. Yeah, like I don't know. I haven't read the books,
I
but
know.
I remember reading about it when we got towards the end of Pretty Little Liars, this show, when it was airing, because people were like, oh, maybe they'll borrow from this. Oh, maybe they'll borrow from that. And I suppose you could say that they did.
Yes, the one thing I knew going into this show before we
Hello,
started.
Spencer.
Uh-huh.
Awful.
I don't think I'm gonna like it, but we'll see. Maybe knowing it, I'll have a much better enjoyment.
I think I'll enjoy it more this time. I
Right.
remember being so mad and just annoyed, and like because like for the last like month before it came, like the final episode, like you're getting like like minuscule pieces, like you're not
Right.
getting like anything that's super helpful until you like kind of zoom out a little.
Mhm.
And so like they kept being like, we're gonna give you more, and then it's the finale, and I was like, you're not giving.
Right.
I'm not getting. So I don't know.
But in terms of the book, we have no idea, I think, on the minute details of what'll happen. So
You know, honestly, I don't even know overarching plot except for like a few things.
yeah. Yeah, okay. Me going in blind yet again. So I don't know. I mean, if people have read it and you have an idea for like pacing even, or feel free to shout it out.
They also came out in 2006.
Yeah.
They started in 2006.
Went from 2014 was the last one. So
they were still going.
They were moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So that probably in the season we just left off on, right? Yeah. This is when the last book came out.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then there's also The Perfectionist and other spin-offs.
That's a TV show.
No, yeah, and also the book series.
No way.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you gonna Google this for us?
Yes. Oh, let's go to instead Shepherd.
I assume The Perfectionist.
Good God! Like, look at moving. Apparently there's a 2023 book called Just the Liars.
Just Liars. Oh, yeah, The Liars. Yeah. Huh.
Companion novels. The Perfectionist. There's 2 there in 2014, 2015. The Amateurs. Ooh, I hope that's about like a local theater.
You think we're gonna make it that far?
I don't know. Damn. And then there's companion novels. Allison's Pretty Little Diary. Oh, I bet that's kind of like Diary of Laura Palmer. Pretty Little Secrets. Allie's Pretty Little Lies. It's Not Easy Being A. That's not easy. The Entire Journey. I'm assuming that's just like, compilation almost.
But The Perfectionist, Pretty Little Liars, The Perfectionist is under that, and then there's a separate The Perfectionist.
Oh, so this must be something different.
Yeah.
And they don't have a link to it on Wikipedia. Interesting.
I don't know, man.
And lots of
I'm stressed.
adult fiction. Interesting.
Scroll down.
Roll credits. We didn't need to talk about those. What is the Line Game?
Oh, I know that's like a thing. Like it's also a TV show. I'm pretty sure.
But I mean, we don't need to talk about that one.
I was like, I'm pretty sure they turned this one into a show as well.
We will not be talking about that. Also, yeah, ABC Family, interesting. There's nothing. This is a horrible Wikipedia page.
It's the book. It's not the TV
I know,
show.
but you think like they'd do a better job here. All right, like skint. There's nothing there.
It's a pretty low
on the totem pole.
Yeah.
But we'll just be jumping into at least the Pretty Little Liars book series.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting.
Read along with us, or don't. If you have KU, you should read along with us.
Yeah, it costs you nothing.
Uh-huh.
Or check out from your local library.
Oh, yeah.
The only reason I'm not, because I'm probably going to write in the book.
You're going to write in the book.
Probably.
I'm just kidding. You can write in the book. I've never been a big book, like,
Book
keep
writer.
your book pure kind of person.
Yeah.
I didn't write in books until I got older because I didn't know you were allowed to.
It does feel like, ooh, I'm doing something wrong.
You've met my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that in that house we were allowed to write in books?
No, definitely not.
So, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But as an adult, I do it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a lot of them, though, because I let people borrow them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, your books?
Yeah, so I don't write in them because you've never, like, found a note from me in a book.
No. Mm-mm.
I don't want to ruin it.
Right.
For anyone.
You just break their backs.
I do crack spines. I don't crack spines. It's not like I walk around cracking them. I just...
The Carl the chiropractor.
I really love my books, and I don't...
Get a lot of use out of them.
I read them again and again and again, yeah. Mm-hmm. If a book has a cracked spine, it means I liked it.
Yeah.
If a book has a very nice spine, it means maybe I read it once.
Right. You know, I couldn't help but feel a little sad that people on the poll that we ran on YouTube didn't vote for a fantasy book series.
Why? What would you have wanted to read?
I'm assuming we would have like went into ACOTAR or something.
There's so many ACOTAR podcasts. I feel
like. Oh, okay. So
it's a saturated market.
We don't need to get there. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we could though. We could just do that
right
on the side. You know, it's always an option. But you already read the first one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the second one.
Yes. So I just need to do 2 more.
Well, and the holiday special. It goes in between.
3 more.
Yeah.
Right. And then 7 Throne of Glass books.
Are you going to do Throne of Glass? Or are you going to do Crescent City next?
Oh, I would do Crescent City next. That's the one I think that sounds the most appealing to me.
I think you'll like it the most. Second book's a little hornier, though.
Ooh.
It's scandalous.
Yeah. Got to keep a fan near me.
That's what I always say about you.
That's right.
See you spritzing yourself with the spray fan in bed.
He's
reading smut again.
stack of Danielle Steele.
Yeah. Well, this book will not, I assume, be like that because it's YA.
No, yeah. It'll just be YA romance.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with Ezra. I think what happens with Ezra is better in the books, allegedly. To get back to you on that one.
Right, because I think you mentioned
that I think he goes to jail or he dies or something. I don't think they keep him.
Right. It's not, there was no Ian Harding playing him in that one, and they weren't being like, oh, wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It should be interesting.
Pretty Little Liars writer's room should be a little embarrassed about the fact that they gaslit a bunch of late teen girls to think that it was okay to date men well into their 20s.
Man, I mean...
It's not.
Yeah,
They're weird. Why can't they get one their own age? Ask yourself that before you go home with them.
Well, little advice to you if you take one thing away from this podcast.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
I needed that advice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get into any of that sort of trouble for the most part, but
Right. But, it's a good thing to hold on to there.
Exactly. Well, are you excited to read the books?
Yeah. I don't know. Should be interesting. I am excited to read it.
I'm intrigued. I don't know if excited is the right word. Like, I'm interested, and I will be intrigued to see, like, how captivated I get.
Mm-hmm. Since it is, I haven't read, like, a true kind of young adult novel in, like, this sort of sense in a while.
Yeah, I read, like, YA fantasy if I'm reading YA.
Uh-huh. The last thing that would be YA that I read would be Wizard of Earthsea. Or the Earthsea books, which totally different. That's just like...
Yeah.
That's just like fantasy starring young adults.
Mm-hmm.
And like more like traditional fantasy like setup anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not written like, it was written in the 70s. But
yeah.
You know what? Those books are great though. I do need to get back. This is also making me realize I just have a million books I need to read.
Mm-hmm.
So I read the first 3 and all fantastic. Farther Shore, not... Farther Shore is the most traditional. That's the last one. That's the most traditional fantasy that you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably my least favorite, but still pretty good. It's like magic is dying and like people are being like almost entranced in their sleep over to like the other side, and it's like weird like magic shit is going on where it's like, okay, we gotta figure out what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like weird, it's a really cool climax of like between like death and like the real life of what they're floating in. It's cool. I don't want to give too much away, but if you do want to read one, you could read Tombs of Atuan. That is one of the best books I've ever read.
Nice.
You're like, cool.
Uh-huh.
But
I read the first one. Well, we read it for book club, but
yeah, you're like, yeah, that's fine.
it wasn't my cup of tea. It didn't do anything for me. Like, I mean, I think it was beautifully written, and I didn't really commit to it, so it just wasn't. I wasn't vibing.
Yeah,
it wasn't the right timing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sometimes you pick up a book and it's just not the right time.
But I would say for all you out there, that is like also Wizard of Earthsea is really good too. That's the first one. And I don't expect it to be like, it's like continued adventures, not like here's the big threat and then here's the second book where it's setting up the third. It's they're all standalone. You don't really need to know who Get is like for the other two to really like understand what's going on. It just like adds more context of like here's another of like his adventures or like where he like tags in, because Tombs of Atuan and Farthest Shore aren't about him. But yeah, now I also still have to get back to that Star Wars Ronin book. I still haven't read that. Got Echo War and got nonfiction books too. I got the DJ book you got me. And DJ 101, here's how to DJ. No, at the Scholastic Book Fair. And then
came with tracing paper, and you're gonna be able to draw your own DJ deck by
it's
the
gonna
end
be
of
great,
it.
and then I'll be able to do it. I'll learn how to DJ quietly. And then I still have to read. I looked at it the other day, and I saw it. The oh crap, it's the Ronan Farrow one about Harvey Weinstein and all that. So very light novel, of course. Catch and Kill, is that what it is? Yeah.
I just can't read anything heavy at this current point in my life.
That's fair.
Not in a, I can't. It's too hard. Not like, you know, from a literary perspective, but from an emotional perspective. The world is bleak, you know?
Very much so.
Yeah.
You need to move into something that's a little lighter. Yeah.
Lots of fun things on your reading list, and not so fun things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it's interesting, you know, but I just need to get to it.
I wonder if these will be like the Click books. There was like these books. The Click was like,
like CLIQUE.
Okay. Like that was like,
I thought you were talking about like the book
ritzy girls and drama. I don't remember anything else about them. Like I couldn't tell you a damn thing, but I'm wondering if this will be a similar vibe or if it'll be different.
So is it like that here's like the cool girls or something?
Yeah, it's like here's the cool girls and here's what they do, and it was like brands and boys and party. Or not really party, I don't really remember.
Brands and boys and party.
All the things you're not allowed to talk about during sorority recruitment, they were doing in high school.
That sounds what I always assumed like the Gossip Girl books were like.
I have no idea what the Gossip Girl books were like. I was gonna look up the Click, but my mother's calling me, so I can't use my phone. I'm like, so it's useless to me.
Right.
I only have ever watched Gossip Girl.
Yeah, my sister read those books.
I didn't know there were books.
Think. That all sorts of adaptations, you know.
Oh, the Click also had a movie. Of course they did.
Yeah.
It's a 2008 American teen comedy drama.
We're not endorsing it.
No.
It's very easy to fall into the trap of talking about movies.
Well, I'm not talking about it. I
know, but it just keeps happening.
I mean, it's not like you can walk around pretending like they don't exist.
I know, but it's just really easy. It's because like then I want to like talk about it. It's like like I want to ask questions about this.
Yeah, so it's a young adult novel series from a Canadian author. And
Neighbor to the North.
It was around 5 girls: Maisie, Alicia, Dylan, Kristen, and Claire, who are known as the Pretty Committee. The Pretty Committee is a popular clique at their all-girls middle school that's like fake. Octavian Country Day, OCD. Claire's the one I think that like moved in from Florida, to New York, and she's like the outcast because she's
from Florida.
Well, and she's like she lives in like one of the other family's guest houses, and like she's not as rich as them, and then it's like drama. I just remember reading like one or two of them, and I read them like really quickly as like a teenager, and I was like, oh, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And not in like a
just not my vibe.
Yeah, not in like a I don't like I just don't remember the plot being remarkable. I'm into the teen vibe, but like,
Yeah. And little did I know at the time, I may not have been part of the pretty committee, but I definitely was part of the OCD.
Apparently, the plot of the first book, sorry, we can go back to your
OCD.
No. Is that
I was like, okay, tough crowd.
Claire is discovered and then ostracized until a school field trip, and with Kristen's homemade lip gloss causes an allergic reaction in their classmates.
Homemade lip gloss?
Claire saves the day and is forgiven by the pretty committee, although Macy still refuses to accept her as a member.
Gotta have one, right?
And then the next book is Best Friends for Never, and it's a Halloween one.
For never?
For never. Best
Love
Friends
it.
for Never.
Wait, so who had the homemade lip gloss?
Kristen made it. I feel like I read Revenge of the Wannabes, which is the third one, and that might be why it was also like not my vibe.
I don't know who the hell these people are. There's no explanation, no context given.
Blind.
Picks up Return of the King. Who the hell are these guys?
Would be me. Yeah, but yeah. So I'm just wondering if it'll be a similar like teenage girly drama vibe, or if it'll still have that like the gritty undertone of Pretty Little Liars.
I mean, the A's still around, right?
Yeah.
It's very funny in the description. It's like, and one person who knows all their secrets and like isn't afraid to spill it. And it's just like, I wonder who that is.
Mysterious,
but they don't even put like the mysterious A or something like that.
Do you think we'll find all of the characters that we have in Pretty Little Liars, the TV like in the book that we saw in the show? Does that make sense?
Oh, right. So like all the characters from the show are like
in the
came
books.
From the books.
Uh-huh.
No, and I'm pretty sure you said, was Caleb invented whole cloth for this?
I think so.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I think that's why they tried to do the spinoff with him, because then you don't have any like
no baggage.
Yeah, he doesn't come with a backstory.
Right. Yeah, there's the.
That was always my guess on why they did the spinoff with him. I don't know. I mean, it'd be.
I mean, Halo, as you said, was going pretty strong. So.
Yeah, that really pissed people off.
Yeah, I don't know who else won't be in there. Like, is like Lyndon James gonna be in there? Like Nate?
I know Toby is different.
Oh,
I know.
Well, like different as he is in the beginning of the show. It's like gonna be like.
I think it's bad different.
Oh.
But I don't know.
Well, won't be our perfect boy, I guess.
No.
Oh, we'll see.
Like having an alternative universe. Like.
Right, exactly. We're stepping in. They're all gonna have goatees.
Blonde wigs and goatees.
That's right.
The Pretty Little Liars special. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. So we can check back in a week or so. And, I don't know. Maybe leave people here for now.
Yeah.
Kind of rambled, kind of hung out. I don't know. We'll maybe come back next week with something slightly more structured.
Mm-hmm.
But, probably not that much more structured. Just maybe something more structured to talk about.
Okay.
Don't expect like an hour-long thing before we get to the
You're really level setting. You're like,
I don't want expectations going up here.
Y'all want to listen to some crap? Show up.
Good digging through the garbage. Is what our neighbor had last night. You really shouldn't be eating this yogurt. Look how many calories it's got.
Oh, you're fat shaming the neighbor.
As soon as I said that, I was like, God damn
like
it.
a little old couple.
I know. As soon as that came out of my head, I'm like, you just walked into it.
Oh, you were really feeling your Allison era.
I know. Ooh, watch out.
Well, we're still here.
We'll find out everything.
I don't think we're going to.
Not for a little while, but we will be back with the books, which I am excited to dig into.